They thought they caught Rubio in a contradiction here, but he flipped the entire Maduro conversation. Understand, past crimes, active threat.
President Trump pardoned the former Honduran president after he was convicted of trafficking roughly 400 tons of cocaine into the United States. Cocaine that contributed to the deaths of tens of thousands of Americans year after year. Yet the president and his cabinet authorized a military operation to capture Nicolás Maduro in order to arrest him for virtually the same crime. So, yes or no, because I have a bunch of questions here. To the best of your knowledge, was Hernández convicted of trafficking approximately 400 tons of cocaine into the United States?
Keyword.
I'm not involved in the pardon process. I can tell you.
No, I'm just asking if he.
Yeah, but I don't do yes or no. I don't play games. This is not a game show.
Do you know he was? Okay, so I'm just going to tell you he.
So I can answer your question because I know what you're getting at. But go ahead.
He was convicted. I know.
The president felt that he was unfairly treated. I can't give you much insight because I'm not involved in the pardon process.
Would you not concede? Can you not understand how the American people and how the world are clearly going to be frustrated by the hypocrisy of this when one man is convicted and pardoned and another man captured, and how it undermines the United States' credibility on the world stage?
But the difference is that, again, I can't opine on the specifics of his case because I wasn't involved in the pardon, but he was not a sitting office holder. He was not even the president of Honduras when that decision was made, either to convict him. The difference between him and Nicolás Maduro is he was actively engaged in narco-trafficking. It was an ongoing endeavor.
How true is that? All right. Listen, so we have someone who has been past his time. He's no longer in any type of position of power here. Would I specifically have pardoned someone that did these things? No, but maybe there are reasons. Who knows here, guys? Again, you're not in the place of the president here. But be fully aware here, Maduro's capture, immediate capture, was mandatory here, guys. Listen, he was doing basically the same exact thing, large scale, but also had the state to basically back him in terms of his power, his ability here. Right? He could no longer be there. Period. And the fact that Democrats are currently trying to make an argue saying that these are basically the same exact things is probably the most disingenuous thing I've encountered all week.
I think it does undermine our credibility, but I'm going to move on to some foreign policy decision making here, because despite the fact that you famously or infamously have numerous jobs in the administration, your Secretary of State, your National Security Advisor, it is increasingly unclear who's actually directing U.S. foreign policy under President Trump. We have a Special Envoy Witkoff. He's reportedly conducted Russian-Ukraine talks in Switzerland beyond your awareness. He and Jared Kushner have been described as managing the president's Gaza plan. Meanwhile, Ambassador Barrack is leading on Syria policy, while Special Envoy Boulos is appearing to lead on our Africa policy. So I have to ask you, I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask you, are you the lead for U.S. government on foreign policy?
No. The lead on U.S. foreign policy is named Donald J. Trump, the President of the United States. On the individuals you've described, these are very valuable teams. We have if I can answer, because I think it's important. It's a legitimate question. I have the distinction, but I think both the benefit of being the National Security Advisor and the Secretary of State. As National Security Advisor, my job is to coordinate the interagency function of national security, and that involves foreign policy. So I speak to Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner in the case of Gaza and now Russia, probably 10 times a day. We have multiple meetings and coordination. All of it is we build a team, we gather facts, we present options, and then we take them to the president. It is the president who directs the foreign policy of the United States. That's always been the case, by the way.
You can't overrule their decisions. Do you outrank the special envoys and ambassadors? Do they get your input as
an example?
Do they care about your input, or do they go straight to the president?
There's no time in which the president is presented an option by one of us at the exemption of everybody else. It depends on the portfolio. But in every one of these portfolios, we have a team approach to this, which is the way the system is supposed to work. It's not the way it's always worked. You have had in the past tensions between the National Security Council that became operational and the Department of State. In this particular case, there's not much conflict between the two because it's the same person. And we basically, what we basically try to do in every one of these unique missions is we create a consensus team around it, and then we present the president options.
Be fully aware here, whenever you're running something as gigantic as the United States government here, all right, not one person can do everything. There's obviously one person that's going to be above everything, and everything is going to have to kind of go through that one person. But understand how the idea of envoys work in the first place here, right? They are all working on behalf of X. Okay. Yes, Marco Rubio, in fact, has a lot of titles here, right? That just means that he is in a position where he is trusted pretty heavily by the president of the United States of America to be able to kind of be over all of these projects here. That means his insight is that absolutely important here in all of the things that he's in here, that everything has to kind of go through him. So yeah, of course, guys, you have to delegate. Guys, what gigantic project have you seen someone overtake, for example, where that one person did all of the jobs here? Think about that for a second, right? You have to delegate in order to get things done here. So the fact that she's confused by that is absolutely befuddling.
It's the president's decision, nobody else's. There's no overruling here. The president makes the decision.
Don't
Our
they
job is to
report
present him
you?
options.
Shouldn't they report to you? Shouldn't there be a line of command and a line of transparency?
They report to me every day.
Where does
She's
the
not
buck
hearing.
stop?
But they
anything.
report to me every day in terms of keeping me apprised of what's happening. I give advice. I give, in some cases, direction. They involved heavily. For example, the special envoys rely almost exclusively on State Department personnel to assist them in all of their efforts. For example, on the Board of Peace, we helped them position the entire gathering last week and all the work that's going to happen now. On every one of these issues, it's not linear. No single individual other than the president has the ability to dictate our foreign policy. Our job is to come to a consensus view on the best way forward. Where there are disputes, those are presented to the president, and he makes the decision.
Let's talk about the Board of Peace then, because all treaties and statutes have to be approved by Congress, and the president is starting a new Board of Peace, and we would need that authority. The authority for the filing stems from the International Organizations Immunities Act, but it's my understanding it only provides the president with such authority when participation by the in an organization has been approved by treaty or statute. Treaties and statutes must be approved by Congress. So when will the administration be requesting Congress pass legislation to authorize the president to extend this benefits to the Board of Peace, creating the Board of Peace, and when will it be sent?
Well, actually, the Board of Peace was chartered and set up by the UN Security Council through a vote of the UN Security Council as the deliberation. So it's an international organism recognized by the Security Council of the United Nations, which is something I think many of you should be supportive of. The fact that we're doing
president is claiming his authority is from the International Organizations Immunities Act. And this law only provides the president authority when U.S. participation has been approved by treaty or statute. I know my time is up. Please consider working with us to do these things. You know what it is to be a senator. You know what that collaboration and cooperation mean. And I think that all of us expect that respect from you and would really appreciate it.
It's really hard to collaborate with people that are just hostile, if that makes any sense here. Like specifically, if you are part of a party, okay, that is the opposing party of whatever the groupthink ideology that's happening currently within the building that he's in right now, like understand this here. If you go against that, then of course collaboration is going to be absolutely rough because by default you are suspicious of legitimately anything he says or does because he's part of the collective that you absolutely have disdain for. Let's be honest here. So the idea of collaboration is troubling when you're just looking for terrible things in anything that he says consistently. Like this is not a collaborative joint venture, even though it absolutely, in fact, should be here. If we could find a way to completely eradicate the idea of this partisan politic nonsense and actually get to the point where we're doing everything for the citizens of the United States of America and to the benefit, not to the detriment, because you don't agree with the thought process of the person on the other side of the room as you, that'd be amazing. Like imagine where we would be. Okay, just for a second, imagine where we would be as a country. These last couple of months, you guys have been asking me to look at a lot of these things. That's why we're looking at so much of this lately, right? I'm starting to notice that we just have like a massive issue, just not even the idea of like understanding. Okay, the issue is not we don't understand each other. No. The issue purely in the United States of America right now is I'm in this corner and anything that you say that goes against my overall ideology is wrong. This happens on both sides here, period. It is what it is here. We need to find a way back to the middle, to the, I don't know, like a common ground. I mean, we used to have the flag as the common ground, and now you have a whole bunch of people that hate our flag and they're from our country but don't want to live anywhere else. That's weird, guys, right? And that seems to be it here. Moral of the story here. The United States of America cannot run with one person running and doing everything. Do you understand how many arms you need to have to kind of do that? And again, think of all the people that were named earlier as just like legitimate arms of specific organizations within the federal government that are needed to basically maintain the United States of America. How about that? And the fact that she was pinpointing that and saying, well, this is how we know you basically aren't doing anything is a little bit crazy. That's how everything is done in the United States of America. It's done like this. It has to be done like this. We're too big, guys. Right? Think of a company, bro. Like, one person can't do everything. They can't manufacture, right? They can't advertise. They can't market. They can't do any of these. They can't box products and things, right? They can't cold call while also doing all the other CEO, COO, CFO duties, guys. They can't do these things. Guys, this is silly. Like, I love watching Marco Rubio speak for some reason, though. Like whenever he starts speaking, he speaks with such conviction. Like, he speaks with like, are you crazy for speaking to me like this? That's kind of the energy that I think personally he exudes. And I do think that he's probably going to make a very good candidate, guys. I do think so. I don't really see much wrong with him, if that makes any sense here. But I'm sure someone in the comments is going to tell me, oh, this happened in 1933. I don't care. What is he doing right now? But you get what I'm saying here, guys. I want to know how he is able to logically deliver his talking points in a way that is easily palatable for those who may not even have the, let's say, mental acuity, let's say, to follow along with some of the things that he's saying here. Okay. How is he with doing that? Because if he can do that and then reach the overall hearts and minds, let's say, of the masses, I do think that he's going to do very good here, guys. I'm telling you, all right? I think he's going to do very good politically in the future. But either way, listen, guys, if you guys are new here, please like and subscribe. And in the meantime, I'll go ahead and catch you guys later.